is Falkirk Daft.
With Behind the Wall and the Falkirk football fans in training.
Guess who's back? Back again. Falkirk Daft's back. Tell a friend. Hello, we're back, baby. It's John, it's Ross, it's Falkirk Daft, and this is season 26-27. It is our 150th anniversary of the club, and we are here to kickstart it. Ross, the Ginger God of Pod, how the devil are you?
Hello mate, morning. I can't believe this is season 26-27. This is also 150th
yeah, I know.
anniversary for the club. 199th episode for us as well, which is scary. How many seasons is this now then? So is this fourth? Or is this
coming our fifth? This is our fifth season of doing the podcast.
Jesus, right, okay. That's went quick.
I know. Crazy, absolutely mental. I can't believe. And thank you very much for continuing to listen to our drivel over the last 4 seasons, and we're now into season number 5. I mean, most TV shows don't get 5 seasons, so we've done all right.
Exactly. We've moved past the difficult second album. And,
yeah, we're kind of into like Sopranos. Well, I think Sopranos did a good 9 seasons. I'm trying to think of other good shows. Game of Thrones. What was Game of Thrones? 7 seasons, I think it was. So you know, we're all right. We've not been cancelled yet. I mean, there's still time for that to happen, of course.
What is it Ricky Gervais says though? He always says, do no more than 3 series of something. Yeah, people get sick of it.
Well, we'll see how the numbers do this season. There's a lot to talk about. We've got a lot of ground to cover in this episode, but you know, it's been about a month and a half since we've done one of these, so it might be a bit rusty. Ross, how was your summer? You know, we've seen each other. It's not like we've not seen each other.
Exactly. Yes, I have caught up.
But how for the listeners, for the viewers, how was your summer? What did you get up to?
Brilliant. Yeah, I'm saying brilliant, but like the last 2 weeks, we've been off and did our first ever cruise, which was brilliant. And
did you did you see anyone with pineapples on their doors? Because that's what cruising's all about, isn't it?
Not for me, but I did pass the occasional door that did have one on the door. Yes.
Really?
I think that's rife. I do. I think it's rife.
I thought that was just like an urban myth, and no. If you don't know what we're talking about pineapples, it's code for swinging. Remember, I don't know if it's a thing, but there was a rumour back in the day that pampas grass in your front garden was code for swinging.
Right. Okay, I didn't know that one.
Were you aware of that? No, pampas grass. Now, that was slightly worrying because we had pampas grass in our first house.
And were you a member of that particular group?
I'll have to ask my mum and dad.
As in you and your family home?
Aye!
I thought you meant you and Siobhan.
No. Mum and dad. To be fair, the pampas grass was there when we moved in, so whoever's in the house before us, you never know. But apparently pineapples is now the thing that you show a pineapple, that means you're a swinger.
I thought yes, there was the odd door that did have them.
That's unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, because a lot. Did you
give a wee chat, Ross?
No. Keep on cruising. Because a lot of the doors do get decorated because you have obviously again you don't know these things unless you've done it, but like the walls and the doors are all magnetic, so like people stick stuff everywhere and. At their door, I mean, and in the room you can put like wee hooks.
The room might get quite sticky.
Exactly, yeah. But nice. No, there was the odd couple, but it was really good cruise, mate. And I missed a couple of the games. What games did I miss? I missed the Airdrie game and Edinburgh game. So I was back then for the delight that was Ayr United on Tuesday.
We'll talk about the games. We've got a lot of ground to cover before we get to the games. But yeah,
I've had a trying week though, John. It's been a tough week, but I'll tell you why. So for those that I've mentioned before, obviously I've got 2 daughters. My eldest one started a new job this week. Shout out to Stevie Barr and Sean at Little Kerse. She's got a new job there. So that's
there you go. Moment. I'm trying to get rid of a 16-year-old. See if anyone's out there is looking for a 16-year-old for a job, like a part-time job. I've got one for you. So if you are listening to this podcast and you've got use of a 16-year-old Mac and Ali, I would appreciate that as well.
Yeah, he'll take him off your hands type thing. But that's not the only reason for it was a trying week, because she went out on a date, and I believe it was her first date during the week, and so you can imagine how stressed.
Were you doing the pickups? Were you doing the pickups?
No, I was banned.
Were you?
Yeah. So, no, I don't know a lot about him.
Did the young man come to the door?
No, they met each other in the town.
I always picture that scene from Bad Boys 2, where the boy comes to the door for the pickup. Have you seen that one?
No.
I'll send it to you, because that's always the scene I think I'm going to recreate it when my daughter gets her first man coming to the door.
My plan when the scenario happens is to go full De Niro and meet the parents.
I like it.
Not
full De Niro as in maybe one of the Robert De Niro's, and have a shotgun potentially.
Yeah, so it's been a testing week.
So there you go. There you go. That's caught up on Ross's life.
What about you? What's been happening?
Not much. I was over. I was one of these Bairns supporters that thought, when the mention of Albufeira, like, we were looking to go to summer holiday anyway, and it kind of narrowed our choices, because I said to Siobhan, my wife, I was like, we don't know where we're going. She goes, we might as well go to Albufeira. It's meant to be nice there anyway. I went, excellent, just in case, in the off chance there was a game. And obviously there wasn't a game. There was a couple of Bairns supporters out there as well, though. Shout out to Steely and Gordon Prophet. We tried to meet up several times, but they were always in their beds because they were absolutely smashed it during the day. So we never got a chance to meet. And obviously there was no games. I believe they went out and watched the boys training. Even I am not that sad to go out and watch the team train, because it was about a 20-minute journey away from me. And I'm like, in the car, I'm like, no, I'm not to that level yet.
I saw Peter Dust, who lives out in Albufeira. He was over watching them train, and this is how committed he is to Falkirk, I suppose. He went to watch West Brom versus Bromley on Thursday or Friday to see Barney Stewart. So because West Brom were training at the same facility that Falkirk were training at, but just the week after. Jordan, see, are we updating the games? So I spoke to Jamie, and it's quite a funny story. So what he said was they had like 75% signed off the rumoured Flamingo deal, right?
Yeah.
So there was this agent. There was always agents involved. I don't mean like a player's agent, like these fixture agents. Who knew you got that right? And the guy said to him, well, we're looking at dates, we're doing this, that. So it was all sort of getting teed up. And then it went a bit quiet. And then the Flamingo guys got an offer to play River Plate instead. So weirdly, they picked River Plate over Falkirk. So that was why there was no game.
Oh, that's a shit. I was gutted, but I did the aforementioned Peter Dust, and if you don't know who Peter Dust is, you'll maybe heard of a band called Lieutenant Stardust, Falkirk favourites for several decades, and he lives over in Albufeira now. But he plays in a pub over there, the Lucky Clover, and I went down to see Peter. We were in the old town. We went down 2 nights, and we sat. I had a pint, and Peter's brilliant, by the way. If you ever seen Peter singing, he's amazing. And it was just like, he was continuing singing. It was like in the middle of like doing Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen, and continue to sing while have a conversation with me and show me pictures of his trip to the train. And apparently Stephen McGinn and Big Time Chris McGill were in the pub as well the night before. So he's continues like, baby, I was born to run. Hey John, check out these pictures here. It was very impressive. So if you're in Albufeira for your summer holidays, make sure you go down and see Peter Dust down at the Lucky Clover on the Old Town Square, and he's a big Falkirk supporter, and he put all he had out because he won a captain's armband. He was over from the Falkirk Daft Live events, and he got a captain's armband, and he was sporting that on stage just for me, and he also did Amarillo. So shout out to Peter over in Albufeira, and unfortunately no friendlies to see over there, but had a lovely summer holiday, so that was
good.
Right, listen, we'll get into the talking about the football club, but before we do that, we've got to say thanks to Behind the Wall. They're back again. I think this is the third season that Behind the Wall have been with us, haven't they? That was like 4 seasons.
I think so. It could be 4. Could be 4 even.
They are back again, and we thank you for them sponsoring Falkirk Daft yet again. As ever, stay local, eat and drink global, and that's what you do at Behind the Wall. Where the Falkirk Daft Venom continues to be on sale. The beer garden is getting the arse kicked out of it just now. If you've been to Behind the Wall, you can't get in it for love or money because everyone is loving the beer garden Behind the Wall. And what better to go down when you're sitting in the sun is a Falkirk Daft Venom. So get that behind the bar there. Lots of stuff going on there. We've got Craigie P, Floozy Fridays. You can check out Craigie P, Floozy Fridays on the 4th of September. I don't know what to expect from Floozy Fridays, but I know tickets are £7.50 and lots of entertainment be had, including ABBA-themed naughty games, cheeky fun and surprises from Craigie P. So, it's worth getting down there to see Craigie P and Floozy Fridays. There we go. So that's
after your day at Glasgow Pride yesterday, that sounds right up your street.
We'll get to that in a minute. Right, 6th of September, Barbara Bryson, the one and only. You've seen her on The Voice. Babs is back at Behind the Wall on 6th of September for an afternoon with her. Falkirk influencer Dion Hickey is doing Girls' Day Out there on the 10th of October, and on the 17th of October it's Viva Morrissey, your favourite Smiths and Morrissey songs. And at this point we come and say, Ross Wayne, what's your favourite Smiths song?
It's such a dick. I've absolutely no idea, mate.
My God!
If you tell me a song, I'll probably go,
This Charming Man.
Nah, how's it go?
This what you thought about no. Panic.
No, it's not.
Come on, hang the DJ, hang the DJ, hang the DJ, hang the DJ. No, Jesus.
No.
Actually, there's a wee story from my summer. I went to see B-52s in Manchester and Salford Lads Club. For any Smiths fans, I'm going to go and get a picture at Salford Lads Club.
I've heard the Salford Lads Club because that's the famous picture that there's like on the corner of a street in it.
Yes, well done, Ross.
There we go. Yeah, I've seen that. I would have no idea what the link was.
Yeah, and they had that. Actually, when I was at Salford Lads Club, they had a 40th anniversary of The Queen is Dead exhibition going on, which was magnificent. So I've got any Salford Lads Club, got my picture, delighted with that. But aye, there we go. So anyway, Viva Morrissey, 17th of October at Behind the Wall. And of course you're going to get the best selection of fine wines, lagers, craft and cask ales in Falkirk, and you can check out everything that's going on behindthewall.co.uk. Quick visit to Birthday Corner. It's been a while, but let's get back into it. Happy birthday, and this is to Andrew Thompson, who's 75, which was yesterday there. So happy 75th to big Grant's, I'm assuming that's Grant's dad, isn't it?
Yep, as indeed.
Yeah. And that's happy birthday from the family man responsible for making me a Bairn in more ways than one. Very good, Dan.
That's a nice visual image for us there.
Great, aye. Duncan Oatway's been in touch, saying say happy 9th birthday to Max, and that was on the 6th of July. We're back dating the birthdays now because we've been away for so long. Grant Wilson gets in touch saying, hi Ross and John, can I have a happy birthday shout out for my daughter Lucy, who'll be 12 on Monday the 20th of July. So that's that's tomorrow, so happy birthday to Lucy, and that's from your dad Jack and Callum. And happy birthday to Scott Hearn, who's going to be 30 on the 26th of July, so happy birthday Scott. And that's from Malcolm, Carol, Sarah, Sandy, Keris, Theo and Freddie, though there does seem to be a lack of pets in that birthday message. Remember, if you are doing a birthday message, we want happy birthdays from the pets as well. And big happy birthday to the mum of Falkirk players Miles and Jay, Jen Hogarth. Happy birthday, Jen. And that's from Yvonne and Maya, and from all of us at Falkirk Daft. I was at the Edinburgh game with Jen as well, so we'll get to that story in a bit as well.
You were getting her drunk, were you?
What's that?
You were getting her drunk, were you?
No, I wasn't getting. Well, we tried to all get drunk, but we'll get back to that in a bit. So happy birthday to Jen as well. So there we go. Right, let's talk about what's been going on since we last did this podcast months ago. And there's a lot to get through, so stand back, let's discuss it all, and let's talk Falkirk right now. And let's go back to the end of May. A quick one from the podcast perspective is that we put a cricket team together. We played cricket against Stennismuir's social team, had a great laugh back at the end of May there. It was a Friday night, the sun was coming down, and Falkirk Daft Select managed to beat the Stennismuir's social team. What a day for them. Come on.
That's a bit of a ruddy considering, like, apart from you watching cricket, I don't think anyone else would play cricket. Apart, well, there's a couple in the team.
See, to be fair, we had Ringer Central, so thanks very much to all the ringers that joined us on the day. We had former Scotland women captain, we had current Stirling County players. We had about four, possibly had the Stainsmuir captain Nicky Rogers, the brother of Andy Rogers as well, who helped us out as well, and we managed to win, which was great. Despite me playing, we managed to win. First time I'd ever bowled a cricket ball, and by the way, harder than you think it was.
It would be difficult playing in your wife's tracksuit bottoms as well.
Yeah, I was getting slagged off. I was wearing cut off tracksuits. Yeah, my gym, and I was getting slagged off for that. But anyway, and Josh and Drew from Falkirk TV both played as well. Big Grant Thompson as well. We mentioned him just there as well. Wicket keeper extraordinaire. Had a couple of brilliant catches. I managed to score 5 runs, but I also managed to get bowled out by a 12-year-old. So that was excellent. That was excellent for me. You
did well. You did very, very well.
So, it was good. Great laugh. There's already plans. We wanted to do another game in August, and I was like, it's too close. No, I need to. So we're going to do it again next year. And also, if you are a football fan as well, we're going to be doing the charity game. So keep your eyes out on our socials. We've got that coming up. It'll be Falkirk Daft versus Falkirk Football Fans in Training, and that'll be near the end of August. So keep your eyes out on our socials. We'll be looking for players for that. Right, so that was cricket, Ross. You didn't play. You'll be playing next year. I'm going to make sure you play.
I'll play next time.
Good. But yeah, also we did a little video for the club, didn't we?
We did. It was really nice to be asked to do that because obviously the 150th year is now upon us. It's 2026. And we were asked to help out with the 150th. And it was really good fun. We shot it all within the space of about 3 hours, I think it was. 2.5, 3 hours. Various points around the town, as people will have seen from watching it. I have been asked several times, where is the outtakes? But I don't think they'll ever get released, thankfully.
Hopefully not. It was like a young De Niro and a young Pacino in their pomp, wandering around the streets of Falkirk doing it. But no, it was good fun to do, and there'll be more of that sort of stuff. You've seen the timeline for the 150th anniversary stuff, so there'll be a lot more stuff to come from the club just to celebrate the club. That was just a kind of kickstart to it, because they obviously don't have footage from those back in those days. So we did a little tour and a little history tour of Falkirk, and just showing you where some of the previous grounds was. Who knew that Falkirk used to play in the Bogue? There we go.
Exactly. And you and I nearly got ran over about a dozen times filming that section of the Bogue.
Trying to walk down the street while talking is quite difficult. So hats off to any actors out there or TV presenters, because it was quite difficult. But yeah, the outtakes, let's just make sure they never see the light of the day. That would be great. Thanks very much for that. We should probably reflect a wee bit on Scotland. Obviously, Scott Bain didn't make the squad in the end. But, obviously, I didn't get over to Boston. I know a lot of Bairns did as well. I've seen a lot of pictures from a lot of Falkirk supporters that were over there. Great, getting that World Cup win against Haiti. And then, Jesus, just pain in the arse.
Just went south really quickly after Haiti. Scott, in terms of the Scott Bain situation,
he was injured. Well, it turns out he was injured anyway. So.
It turns out he was injured. So that, to be fair, maybe in hindsight, that is why he didn't get selected. So obviously he has come back. Although John McGlynn was really peed off, wasn't he, when you saw his interview when I think it was over in Portugal. He made a point of saying he was quite annoyed the fact that about Scott, in terms of not with Scott, but in terms of the situation about how he was just sort of left during the time off, and he obviously comes back really with the injury. So I don't know who he's gripe with is there, whether it's the surgeon or the doctors or the club stuff. I don't know, but he seemed really quite annoyed that obviously. And I think Keelan was in a similar position as well, wasn't he? So Yeah, it's disappointing for Scott, but listen, I'm sure there will be. Obviously Craig Gordon's now retired, so that you would assume leaves the berth free for Scott to kind of make a claim. There's rumours that Barney will probably be in a Scotland squad very, very soon. And when he does so and makes his debut, we'll get a sizable fee for him making his Scotland debut.
Yeah, well, let's talk about Barney. Let's talk about the outs, and let's talk about the new signings then as well. Barney, obviously, he had that brilliant purple patch. It was an incredible, the hat tricks, double against Hibs, double against Kilmarnock, scoring for fun. Young lad, obviously. We all know the backstory, and then making his mark in the Premiership. And it's the first time we've been able to do this trading model where we've brought in someone, built them up, and then sold them at a fee which is a club record outlay as well. So, if it's to be believed, 1.3 million plus add-ons. Good bit of business.
There's a few different numbers getting bandied about. We'll probably not know until such a time that the accounts come out. But there's a few different numbers getting bandied about. I did try and get it out of Jamie on Tuesday when we hosted the fan zone. I said to him, right, blink when I hit the right number. So I'm going 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and he shut his eyes. From the chat is that obviously it's a record fee in. Plus sizable add-ons, and one of which will be a Scotland cap. So obviously he's went to West Brom.
Scored at the weekend as well against Bromley.
Scored in a pre-season trip already, so he's getting in amongst it. I don't know if that counts towards one of the goals that we need for him to get another 300 grand or something like that, but probably not. Listen, all the very best to him. We had at the Scotland-Brazil game in the fan zone a few weeks back. I was sitting beside Pete, Barney's dad. He was collecting the last of Barney's stuff at the flat, and he came over and watched the game with us. So it was nice to, obviously Barney had no long made the move. He also brought over loads of Barney's training gear. He says his brothers had half-inched all of his shirts, but he said, knock yourselves out with his training gear. So I've got bits and bobs of Barney's
you're going to give me some of it, actually, remember?
Yeah.
It doesn't fit you, so I'd
no, listen, I think I fit like a 12-year-old child. Really nice guy. And I'm sure most, if not all, Falkirk fans will be keeping an eye on Barney, how he gets on.
I think everybody wishes Barney the best. He's such a lovable guy. If you ever got the chance to meet Barney as a character, he's, his serious interviews, he's just a lovable big guy. And you can't hold we could have held on to him, but when the money he'll be getting down to is silly money, from what you hear, he'll be on, he's probably going to be on 5 figures.
10 times what he was on
6 figures a week, 5 figures a week at West Brom,
Yep.
So it's and just great, and you just wish him all the best. So, and it's a great bit of business for the club, and I do think we probably sold at the right point. He could, because who knows what happens next season? Does he go on and have the season like he did? It was a very catch-22, but from my personal point of view, I think if the boy is going to better his life.
Yeah.
If we can't compete with the wages he's getting offered, so do the deal, get it done, and let Barney go and progress his career. And who knows? Maybe in the future we might see Barney back at the club. It would be great to see, because he's such a lovable character. He loved his time at the club. We made him what he was, and everyone's done really well out of it. So well done to Barney.
100%, mate, and everyone wishes him well. You really, really do. And as you said, he's such a nice guy as well. Fair play to the club too. They didn't roll over and get their bellies tickled by West Brom, because from what you hear is that there was at least half a dozen bids back and forth. So Falkirk have obviously held out for what they wanted, and they were dealt when the money was right, or the deal was right, sorry. Not a huge bit of business for the club. Money that can be reinvested partly into the playing squad, and also, as we know, the pitch funds now, you would assume, covered, and whatever else they're doing. So, really, really amazing deal.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Two invincible back-to-back champion players that have left us. We talked about at the end of the season about Gary Oliver, Sean Mackey, leaving the club, but Dylan Tate and obviously Calvin Miller being the kind of standouts from that. Calvin Miller going to Hearts for an undisclosed fee. Again, it's one of these things you'd love to hold held on to Calvin, but he's got a year left on his deal. He can, make more money, and I think again the club have made the right decision and just go and let him go and progress his career, and also get money back for it as well. 500,000 potentially is the figure.
That seems to be the rumoured amount. What I would say is, it sounds like the player wanted to go, which is part of the issue. I think if Calvin had maybe wanted to stay, I don't think John McGlynn or the club would have sold him otherwise. But you don't want to hold on to a player that's maybe keen on a particular move. Hearts, there's chat that Hearts were keen on him in January. So
can't hold, but they've earned it. The thing is, both Calvin and then we'll talk about Dylan in a minute, but they've earned it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
They walk away. The two of them walk away club legends, and I do hope that when they do, obviously Calvin at Hearts, Dylan at Dundee United, I do hope when they return to the club there's not that booing of the players, because they've earned their rights as Falkirk players not to have any abuse.
I don't see them getting booed. There might be a few, right? But let's face it, for those that are old enough to remember, a particular legend of Falkirk, Crunchy, got booed when he returned, and people were shouted down for doing so. So I'm not saying that'll happen again, but I think Calvin, what a player! You can already see what's missing with the games that were played so far in terms of his ability and direction. But yeah, the rumour is that we got a very, very decent sum of money for him, more than I think the club had potentially budgeted for, and again, that's a really, really good deal for Falkirk with a player that's got a year left on his contract. For Calvin, I'm sure he'll do well. I know there's a change of manager there. I don't know enough about the new guy, to be honest, but I think for Calvin, I'm sure he'll do really well, as he has done for Falkirk.
Yeah, and also Dylan Tate away to Dundee United. He was out of contract, so they lost. We got Craig Sibble, they get Dylan Tate. It's almost like for like, but obviously they're getting the kind of younger. It would have been brilliant to help hold on to Dylan, and obviously there was something on the table for him. It's just a shame he's ended up at Dundee United as opposed to moving, down south, as the rumours would have it, and. It is like you would have liked to have held on to Dylan. Sometimes he was frustrated the life out of me personally. It was like, because he would have a brilliant pass, but he was always trying. I did like that for Dylan, that he would never give up on that as well. But he sometimes frustrated me in that respect. But it was just, it is a shame he went to Dundee United, didn't go down south, and we've not gained anything from that move either. But again, a player that will go with fondest, best of lucks and fondest, the memories he's brought us as an invincible and as a back-to-back champion as well.
John, I've said it before, I've got to know Dylan a wee bit over the last 12 months since the Manicky event we did at the end of the championship season. And listen, this was never a money move. I don't believe Falkirk's offer was far and away from Dundee United, but what he has got is a fresh start. He's done 3 years at Falkirk. He's been amazing. I didn't know this at the time, but it looks like he's going to be the Dundee United captain this year, which is a huge thing for him as well. So again, he goes with everybody's best wishes. Dylan was, for most people, Dylan was exactly what you saw, what you got. He's just a really determined wee guy, and he got stuck in. Yeah, he was. Listen, every Falkirk player at some point frustrates you. Dylan was no exception as well. But I think I don't see him getting any horrible abuse when he comes back, or when we got to Tannadice. I don't see any of that with him at all. But I think he'll do really well there, and it's a fresh start for him. I think his next move probably will be England. I can see him, certainly if he kicks on and continues to do what he did at Falkirk, I could see him going down south.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's still a young lad as well, Dylan. Yeah. He's still got a big career in front of him.
Absolutely.
As well. But I mean, yeah, and then we've talked about, Jamie saying I don't think it was any issue. I don't think there was no surprise that Jamie wasn't kept on and ended up at Airdrie. So best of luck to Jamie. Never really got going at Falkirk at all. Brian, we talked about Brian at the end of the season there. Obviously ended up at Ross County as well. He'll score goals for fun in that league. You can
100%.
If you've ever put a bet on top league scorer in League One, Brian Gray will be it. I'll guarantee that. And then Gary Oliver joining Montrose as well. So great to see Gary getting a club as well. And again, he'll do really well at that level as well. Good that, I'm glad to see the young lads, Fun McCafferty, Rhys Walker and Cale McCrone have all ended up at clubs as well, with Fun being picked up by Alwa, who we actually went and seen the Stirlingshire Cup. And Fun was playing there as well. Rhys getting the Cowdenbeath and Cale McCrone, who's was the one that I thought, was when seeing him in pre-season last season, I thought he looked like a real prospect. That's the Fun McCaffrey actually, and Rhys Walker as well. But he's ended up at Berwick Rangers. So best of luck to all these guys as well. And I see that Sean Mackey again. We spoke about him leaving at the end of the season there, and he's ended up at Arbroath as well. So good luck to Sean as well. Again. These guys, these won't be the last time you see these guys around Falkirk, because Invincible and back-to-back champion dinners will be happening. You can imagine the 10th anniversary of the Invincibles, 10th anniversary of the back-to-back champions, all that sort of stuff. These guys will be in and around the club again, and they walk away from the club as club legends for what they've done for the club. So best of luck to all of them. It's sad to say cheerio to them.
It is, but it's and it's been amazing to watch them. It really has. I think what a turnaround in Falkirk Football Club, John, from probably even just 4 or 5 years ago, prior to John McGlynn. And I think they deserve to go with the gratitude. But it probably is the right time, because the club is evolving on and off the pitch, and it's different times. The lack of game time for Gary Oliver, for Sean Mackey, these guys, they can't just sit and click their heels. And there's probably a couple of the current squad who you could argue may end up out on loan as well, before the end of the loan window shuts. So just due to the fact that they're probably not even going to be, not even just first teamers, but like not even probably in the matchday squad.
Yeah, we'll find out. We're going. Obviously, loan ends. All the guys went back to the Paints Cup. So Ben Brugio, but now there was some hopes of maybe Ben Brugio comes back, but Bolton and Bruges are sniffing about him now. So that doesn't look like it's going to happen now. Ethan Williams came on for Man United yesterday in a friendly.
I saw that. Yeah.
There you go. So. I mean, I'd love to. I think it'd be good to have Ethan. I would love to if we got Ethan Williams back, because he never really got. He just got going, and then he was curtailed by injury. But I don't know if he'll be looking for a move to the Championship. We'll wait and see. Kyrell Wilson's an interesting one. Philip, we said we know there was no chance of us holding on. He's went away with the first team squad with Swansea. Had Kyrell Wilson maybe? You've heard rumours that he's kept his house on in Falkirk?
Yeah, I was speaking to a fairly well-known Falkirk fan, and he was. I think there's a link there in terms of like their house and the rented house that he was in, so that's been kept on by Kyrell, apparently. Either Kyrell or the club, but it sounded like it was Kyrell. And interestingly, Kyrell's not actually went to Swansea's pre-season tour, so maybe we may see Kyrell back in a Falkirk shirt, or is he just coming back up to Scotland? Who knows?
That's true. We'll wait and see what happens with that. But I know there was a lot of other clubs looking at Kyrell as well. Louis Marsh, again, we kind of saw a glimpse of Louis Marsh. It looked like he was going to be a good player for us, and then got injured. Maybe we get him back. I don't know. Henry Cartwright's moved to Bradford, so there's no chance of that. And then Sam Hart, I don't think we'll see back. Though he did do well at the end of the season, coming in out of nowhere and just covering that left back slot. But I did notice he's playing. He's been released by Port Vale, and I noticed he was playing in the PFA, these camps that they do to try and get boys clubs. So I noticed he was playing for that as well. So best
is that the version down south though? Was that the version, the English version? Yeah. Because I was going to say, so obviously we've just signed Ryan Strain from the Scottish version of the PFA camp. Yeah,
so so all the best to all the guys, and who knows, we might see a couple of them back. I think probably Louis Marsh and Kyrell Wilson out of that list are potentially the ones that, if there is an interest, that we go back to Sheffield United and say, listen, it didn't really happen, but we'll give them another shot next season.
Yeah,
but it depends.
If Louis Marsh does come back up though, and on the basis that we signed David Ninkovic, he won't have the worst hair in the squad.
It's very true. Let's talk about David Ninkovic then, because let's talk about the rumours. David Ninkovic, listen, we did a bit of sleuthing. There was a lot of Falkirk fans going, who is this guy? Who had he turned up in a friendly against Airdrie? And it turns out it's from Australia. It's at Perth Fire or Perth Glory. David Ninkovic, who's a Serbian Australian with a mad haircut, and played in the game against Airdrie. Apparently, I've not seen any of the games he's played on. He was lightning fast from the reports. Set up the goal yesterday. What are we thinking about David Ninkovic? Talk already that the deal was off, Ross. I've seen on social media.
I saw something on Instagram about that. I've not heard John McGlynn mention it though, so unless someone knows something from within the club or they've seen him leave with a black bag or something, I don't know. It was
FFC Info. There's so many of these
sites now.
Sites and things. So it was FFC Info that reported this. So I don't know how where that's come from. But
I didn't see the Airdrie game because obviously I was away, and I did see him yesterday. I thought he did okay yesterday. Like he wasn't brilliant. He wasn't rank. He did okay. He did put in a good cross for the goal. So that's a tick. What I would say is if he signs, it's not going to be on the basis of 65 minutes he got against Genk. It will be because John McGlynn has seen something in him during the last 2 or 3 weeks of training. John McGlynn's not going to sign someone on the basis of a 65, 70 minute performance. So we'll give him a chance. Listen, it might come out the wash that he's not on trial anymore, he's away. So that's the end of it. But he's obviously got something about him. John Baird, ex-Bairns, was managing him over in Australia. And he's recommended him to John McGlynn to take a look at. So we know he can't play in the Premier Sports Cup games this week, and he obviously can't play in the league as a trialist. So I'd imagine if a decision's not already been made, I'd imagine John McGlynn will be making it in the next couple of days if he's not already.
Yeah, one of my mates comes from Perth and has followed him. I've been trying to get info from him. A guy that used to follow my podcast said, Falkirk don't sign this beast immediately, they're missing out on the next cult hero of football. And he comes from Perth and follows the club over there, so that's a high recommendation from him. So we'll wait and see what happens with Ninkovic. Before we get into who we've actually brought in, the rumours are Ben Stanley is one that won't go away in terms of rumours and coming to the club. Still not signed for the club. Obviously, he was Championship Player of the Season last season for Thistle. So he's left Thistle, that's definite. We know that, but where's he going to next? Heavy rumours that he's coming to us. There was apparently chat about St Johnstone, but there will be a fee for that. 200,000 is what I've heard, and I did hear a rumour that we'd offered 100,000 plus Alfie. I don't know how much is in that rumour, but it seems it's a name that won't go away. And we are looking for a 10, I would suspect.
I think he would be a brilliant signing for us. And let's not put ourselves on 200 grand as pocket change to Falkirk Football Club now.
Shut up!
Just have money because they just have money fights at the board. That's so they chuck money at each other every time. I can imagine some of the board not laughing at that joke. But yeah, I think he would be brilliant. And listen, if it is 200 grand, then I think that's a really, really big investment, and it could probably be a really worthwhile one as well, because he's still so young as well, and he's got like a brilliant future ahead of him. So I don't know. He doesn't seem to have been training with anyone. He's certainly not been involved in that PFA thing. So I know, like, obviously, as there always is, there's always chat on like group chats and stuff. And somebody made a good point. I think it might have been Gaz yesterday saying, "Listen, remember we had years ago. We'll go back 15 years, but Stevie Lovell, is he going to sign? Is he not going to sign? And then he signs really late on in the window, and then it takes him 2 months to get up to speed. Now that I'm sure that wouldn't be the case with a younger player like Ben Stanley, but you hope whatever he's doing, he's keeping himself ticking over, and because he's a huge player to to bring in, and if you're spending money on someone, you really want them to kind of hit the ground running.
Yeah, I mean, there is. I mean, we've got the pitch fund, but you would think with the outgoing. So if we are saying 1.3 for Barney plus 500 for Calvin, that's plus the add-ons for Barney. We should have money there. I mean, bearing in mind we have spent money. I guess there was an undisclosed fee for Parkinson last season. There's been a fee. Did we have to pay a development fee? No, Lewis Nielsen was out of contract, so we've not had to pay a development fee for him. But Ethan Laidlaw. We'll talk about the new signs in a minute. But that's been the rumours that have been doing around. Let's talk about the people that are in the door, though. We've had a bit of, looking down at all the players that, the Premiership teams were. We're certainly ahead there. And I guess we've talked about all the players that have left and went out as well as the loan ends. We had to go out and make an impact. And John's done his business quite early on. Obviously, I think there's still a few loan players from the English market to come in. But, let's look at who we brought in. So Scott Tanser's come in from St Mirren to compete for that left-back spot. And I have to say, on, initial viewings of Scott, he looks like a really good player. Great cross on him and big and strong. And been really impressed with him so far.
Me too. Really like the look of him. I think he's shone in the 2 games that I've been at so far. Obviously, I've watched the highlights from Edinburgh. He did really well there too.
Yeah.
I don't want to say he's nailed on the left-back spot because I don't think we can ever say that because Leon, if we're talking about yesterday, had a really good game.
Leon always has a good game.
And even more so when he moved over to right-back. Now, listen, he's not a right-back and we know that, right? He knows that too. But he was very, very competent when he moved over there as well for a period. So, no, I really like the look of Scott Tanser, though. I think he's going to be a fantastic addition. I think fullback is definitely both sides as a real strong point for us this season.
Yeah, so we've got Stanzer and McCann at left back. Obviously, Keelan Adams had bad, injuries just continued. We spoke about John and what he reflected on that injury at close season, and it's just been a recurrence as well. So Keelan's out for 9 weeks at least. So we signed Jack McMillan. I think we were always going to sign a backup right back. I think that was always going to be the case. Jack McMillan came in from Exeter City. Good pedigree. Thistle fans really rate Jack McMillan. Apparently turned up really well in close season, but then has unfortunately had an injury as well. We've not heard how bad or severe that injury is. But
he's going to be back on Tuesday, John.
Oh, is he back on Tuesday?
Yeah, so I watched the post-match interview quite late last night, and he starts training with the squad on Monday. Probably won't take part on Tuesday unless it's from the bench, but I would assume Stranraer game. He'll probably start that game if training goes well.
And then you've got Ryan Strain, signing our right back as well with the injury to Keelan Adams as well. Ryan Strain is a player that is a really good player. Comes, we're speaking to St Mirren mates, speaking to Dundee United mates, they all really rated him as a player. And it's a kind of player that you want to be signing. Scottish Premiership experience, will hit the ground running in the league. And, a solid, a player that can play pretty much right back. And I think he can play midfield as well.
Yeah, no, he can. That's the thing with Ryan Strain, with Jack McMillan. These boys Scott Tanser, they can all play different positions. John was obviously very vocal about Jack McMillan, the fact that he can play across any of the positions in defence and also defensive midfielder as well. So it's great to see. But I'm really chuffed. Obviously, we've not seen Jack McMillan yet in a Falkirk shirt. But if the feedback, as you said, that we've had from other clubs' fans is anything to go by, I genuinely think our fullbacks will be one of our strongest areas this season coming. And
obviously, we know Craig Sibbald was in the way, and it's just great to see him back in a Falkirk jersey. Still trying to work out that combination between him and Spencer, which will undoubtedly be our first choices in midfield. But signs are once they start gelling together, I think that midfield 2 is going to be probably the strongest area of the park. I think so too. Do you know what's good from Tuesday night? Certainly, obviously, Sibs didn't start the game yesterday, but from what we saw on Tuesday, it's
opposition will now no longer know that it is definitely going to be Brad Spencer taking the ball off the centre halves, because it could be either or. Because that wasn't really something Dylan did a lot of. He was more sort of forward pressing. But now we've got two really, really strong sort of centre mids who will help the defence out brilliantly. They will pick a pass out. And as we said, they're going to give attackers and defenders that little bit of what's Falkirk going to do here, because they've now got two pretty much decent, very, very competent out balls.
Yeah. Back to defence then. Obviously, we've got there Carl Donaldson, Liam Henson. We don't know what's happened with Tom. Like, I've seen him in about training. We still no word on what's happened.
He's got a squad number, that's all I know. He's got a squad number. Yeah, it's 20, I think he's up to 26 or no, 24 or 26 now.
Yeah, so it'd be good to, I mean, I don't know if he's still injured or what's happened with Tom, but obviously we went out and signed two centre halves as well. Lewis Nielsen, we know, on loan last year, made that deal permanent now. A lot of Falkirk supporters a bit unsure about it, but again, Lewis, I think John McGlynn kind of reflected that it was like he's got a bit to work on. He still has a bit to work on as a defender, but he's another one of these players that's young. He has the ability. He certainly has the qualities there to be a good centre half. But it's just now bringing those abilities up a level. I think in terms of Lewis Nielsen, I know there was a lot of groans probably when he signed and what have you, but we do need backup centre halves as we saw last season.
Yeah, we do. John obviously knows him really well. It's not a player that's new to the squad either. So, and listen, John was really honest, and I think John McGlynn probably preempted the fans having a few groans about the signing, because in the opening interview about him or on the website, he said, just as you said there, John. Listen, he's raw. He's got the raw materials as to what he looks for in a centre half, and the fact that he's quick, he's big, he's strong, and he's got stuff to learn. Do I think Lewis Nielsen will be our starting centre half? No, I don't. I think he'll be. I definitely think he's a competent backup, but I don't see him being the centre half pairing. I think we will see a combination of Hendo and Dennis Melnix.
Let's talk about Dennis Melnix then. We've not had a mad foreign signing in a long, long time. Obviously, Alfie came from Kelty. We're kind of new to the Scottish game. But we went and signed this boy from Lithuania, Lithuanian international, Dennis Melnix. I'm all on board. He's now officially my favourite player, and I've not even seen him in a Falkirk jersey yet, apart from when he was warming up against Edinburgh, because I love a mad foreign import, and I don't know how good he's going to be. Ross, you got to see him in the flesh yesterday. Yeah. But a Lithuanian international, and the fact that we, with the signing, had him basically, there was a picture of him half and Harry Kane. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I on Tuesday he came on, obviously off the bench, and he was kind of forced into a sort of defensive midfield position. He was also still wearing his face mask on Tuesday, which he's now not got. So it was difficult to judge him on Tuesday. One thing that Tuesday did noticeable for everyone that was on the ground is that he's got a hell of a long throw, which was then repeated yesterday at least once. So, and he has lost the face mask now. And I actually think he had a really competent game alongside Cole yesterday, and for the time that he was on. I thought he did really, really well. The mask was hindering him on Tuesday because he kept having to adjust it, and every time there was a header coming, he was sort of holding on to it and stuff like that. So it probably wasn't his best 25, 30 minutes on Tuesday. But for the time that he was on yesterday, I think he got about 65 minutes. I thought he was really good.
Good.
And how long is it since we've had a Will Volks, the last long throw we had, probably?
Yeah, he's got a long throw on him as well, so that's going to be a weapon that we can hopefully utilise as well. I know a lot of teams in the Premiership last season did that against us, so we've now got someone that can do that as well, which is great news. So looking forward to seeing. So you reckon, Cole and Nielsen will be the kind of backup centre-halves. We forget we've got Connor Allen there as well, who can play there as well, and was quite competently showed last season how good he is in that area as well. So,
and as we've said, we've also got McMillan who can play there. I don't think Tanzer's a centre half, but McMillan can certainly play centre half.
A lot of options at centre half.
Yeah, loads. A lot
of options as well. Ethan Laidlaw, again, a player that's come in, was voted Players Player of the Year, I think, at Brentford B last season as well. Was taking one of these guys that's been whipped from the academies, the Hibs Academy, and taken down south and played for Brentford. Got him, we've paid money for him, we've obviously paid a development fee for him, I think. It's undisclosed. But big lad, not too sure what his position's going to be. I saw a bit of him at Edinburgh. Is he a winger? I'm not too sure. I mean, obviously it was against Edinburgh. We had Parkinson out on the right. We had Laidlaw out on the left. Not natural wingers in the sense of the word, but could do a job there. But is he more of a 9? I don't know where his position will be. We'll soon find out, I'm guessing, across the season.
Yeah, I'm the same boat as you. I'm not massively convinced he's a winger. Obviously, John McGlynn says that's the sort of his role. I'd like to see him in the 9 because he's a big, strong lad. I think he would be worth a look at the 9 position, especially. I know it's pre-season, but I don't think there's anybody sitting there saying, "Oh, it's a stick on. It has to be McKeever," or "It's a stick on. It has to be Ben Parkinson." I'd like to see him given a shot in the 9 with 2 sort of nippier wingers.
Yeah, and the other winger you obviously brought in was Paul McGovern. Now, we brought in this young lad from Ireland. He was playing, was it part-time football? He was playing, I think, with Glenavon over there. He's been kind of forced into it like a wee bit straight away. I think we bought this lad as one for the future as opposed to a starter in the team. It wasn't, it didn't overawe me when he came on against Edinburgh. But you maybe seen a bit more of him in the games, Ross, against Ayr yesterday as well.
Yeah, my takeaway from watching him in the 2 games is that he was very easily defended. Is probably my main takeaway. He's obviously not the biggest of lads, but that's fine because you don't need to be. Listen, Crunchy showed what like a 5'6" guy can do. So height's not the be all and end all. But yeah, I think he's one for the future. I don't see him making I think he'll be in the squad. I think he'll be on the bench. I think he could be a right good impact player. But just now, I don't. But listen, it's early days. We'll maybe just not seen enough of him. But yeah, my first thoughts are I think he's really quite raw. But he's one that will probably be bled into the team rather than being a starter.
And the other 2 we've not talked about yet, we just brought in this week. Certainly one was brought in this week. Ben Crowhouse from Brentford. Obviously started against Ayr and then was quickly subbed off because of a head knock. We won't know what we'll see from him. He wasn't involved yesterday, so I'm guessing.
No, but head knock protocols, I think, means 7 to 10 days. So I don't know if we'll see him until Stranraer, potentially. Sounds great though, in terms of like the feedback on him.
Certainly he was playing at Bromley in one League 2 with Bromley last season. Looked at his stats, he seemed to be playing every game. Has he been signed presumably to play in the 10? He's got a year to go in his contract at Brentford. Is he one that is going to be brought in for a year and then potentially signed for next season as a cause there? I don't know what the situation is there, but he's certainly got good pedigree from what we hear from Bromley supporters.
Yep, he has, and he'll know Ethan Laidlaw as well from their time at Brentford. So potentially a partnership could form there. But yeah, really, really good noises from Brentford's side and from Bromley as well. For that matter, I watched quite a bit of League 2 last year, and the quality's all right. It's like, listen, it's probably not too dissimilar to a lot of the Premiership stuff. The players down there are on good money. Do you know what I mean? So it's a good level, and if he can do as well as he has down there, we'll have one to watch.
Yeah, we'll wait and see that. And finally, Jay Hogarth, brother of Miles.
Son of Miles.
Son of Miles, brother of Nicky. Sorry, son of Miles, brother of Nicky, son of Jen Hogarth, who mentioned on the birthday as well. Jay's joined the club now. Jay was training with the club last season. Because he was playing part time with Clyde. Come in. He's going to be training with Falkirk during the week, and he's been loaned straight back out to Clyde as well. So it was meant to be East Kilbride, and then I think that fell away, and now he's at Clyde, so back there. But he's going to be effectively our third choice goalkeeper, I'm guessing.
Yeah, listen, really, really well thought of. He seems to be one for the future again. How cool would that be if you had two brothers sort of fighting out for the number 1 jersey at some point? Do you know what I mean? Because obviously Scott Bain's very much with us just now. He's probably not a longer term goalkeeper in terms of like 3-4 years, but the Hogarth boys definitely will be in terms of their age. So, I think that'd be really cool. Obviously, you go by what you hear from people who've watched him regularly, and he's got a bit about him. So, yeah, I don't think we'll see him in a Falkirk jersey this year unless there's an injury longer term to either Nicky or Scott. But yeah, looking forward to seeing him at some point.
Yeah. So, and a set of brothers, we were talking about brothers that have played for Falkirk, the Fulton brothers. Did Jane... I'm just trying to think, did they play in the same team? I mean, obviously Jay and Nicky are never going to play in the same team, that's the one thing. But I was just trying to think if there's... The Fulton brothers played in the same team together. I seem to think they did at one point.
I don't know if it would have been the Falkirk first team, but from a youth perspective, definitely, yeah. They would have from a youth perspective.
And Ryan Gary McStay didn't play in the first team together either, did they?
No,
they missed each other as well. So we're trying to think of brothers that have played in the same. I believe there was the Wheatley brothers back in the late 70s as well that might have played in the same team together. But there's certainly not the first set of brothers that been in the same Falkirk side as well. So good to see Jay join his brother Nicky at the club, and like you say, he comes with a good write up from the Clyde supporters as well. I think he make team of this. I think he maybe made almost team of the year in the League Two last year. I'll have to check that out. But yeah, good. And obviously he's going back out to Clyde, and he'll get first team football there. So good luck to Jay. Good to have you on board. And that is all the signings that were made. There's probably more to come. We've talked about the Stanway rumour. We don't know about Ninkovic. Wait to see what happens there. It'll be the loan I'm expecting now. And what we're for the build up that squad, and from seeing them on first being, we're desperate on forwards in terms of wingers and a number 10. I think is where we need to complete the jigsaw.
When we spoke to Jamie in the Q&A on Tuesday, and when quizzed on how many were to come in, and I don't believe Ryan Strain would have been one of these numbers, because Ryan Strain seems to be a bit of a not an emergency signing, but because he was still playing for the PFA team during the week as well. But Jamie had said there'll be five more signings to come in, and at least one or two are probably a bit more imminent than the others. So it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, we're not done. And listen, John McGlynn's not going to bring in jersey fillers, so you could have 4 or 5 people who are actually going to impact the starting 11.
Yeah. It's a massive transition in the squad as well. I think, we've been so used to consistency over the last few seasons. This is the kind of transition one, and, I guess that transition comes worry as well, just in terms of gelling that squad together, and, are the players that we've signed going to be any good? Because we've not really had that, I guess, over the last couple of seasons, because we've just been adding to it slightly, with the loan moves and stuff like that. But this is a big, when you're losing kind of 3 first-team starters in Miller, in Barney, and in Dylan Tate, this is where we're going to see a bit of transition this season as well. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes on. And there is certainly in the forward areas, that is where we look to improve. Feel sorry for Aidan Nesbitt. Really bad injury at Edinburgh. And apparently he showed up really well in pre-season, and you just got to feel sorry for Aidan. In fact, he's just not going. I don't know if we're going to see him in a Falkirk shirt. I mean, that looked a bad injury. I don't know how bad it is. I think John McGlynn touched on his interview yesterday. It might kind of be in the Keelan Adams. What be 12 weeks? What be more than that? It looked a really bad one for Aidan, and I just hope he's able to get back up to speed, and we'll see him in a Falkirk jersey again, because you just got to feel sorry for the lad.
No, you do. Horrible. He's not had a great time of it the last couple of years through injury. So you don't actually know how Aidan Nesbitt would do in the Premiership, because we've not really. I think he was fit for the first 2 games last season. He's obviously not fit for the start of this one. It could be Christmas. or before Christmas, before we see him potentially even in a Falkirk shirt. When he's back, is he maybe going to get another loan deal potentially, just to, because you know what it's like when you come back. Keelan Adams might be in the same boat as well. If you've got two healthy right backs in front of him, Keelan might find himself going out on loan when he's back. It's not a dissimilar situation to where Barney was last year.
Yeah,
Barney was injured. It wasn't fit until August time, and then he obviously went out on loan. So the same thing could happen to Keelan, really. And you do wonder if Hayden might fall into that bracket when he's back. He's back as well. Going back to the turnaround, John, I think this is our biggest turnaround of players since the end of John McGlynn's first season. So you'll remember his first season, he was so hamstrung by the shite that was left over from a mix of managers, right? So he then shed about 17 or 18 players. And then what did we do? We went and signed a whole heap of really good players, as it's turned out, and we went invincible. So, not to say we're going to do that this year, but I think he knows how to mould a squad of people together, and we still have a nucleus of the guys that were there.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about the games then. Like, that's the squad makeup. Games, we've had. We went to the Shire, which was very early doors. It was just obviously a development side that played that. And we missed out on bringing back the cup to the boardroom as well. Stesmuir ended up winning it in the end. But it's just a shame to lose that beautiful cup. But obviously the squad flew out to Portugal and we put a development side, which is a shame. But the lads did well. It was good to see the young lads getting a chance against it. I mean, it was literally made against boys when you seen Andy Graham playing and Luke Donnelly and all these players, Scugo and stuff for Alloa, and we beat the Shire, but we got beat off. The
Alloa game was, as you said, John, it was men against boys. We will see how the first team deal with Alloa on Tuesday in the Premier Sports Cup.
No, exactly. And then the Premiership Sports Cup, it's been a mix. We only had kind of one pre-season friendly, and that was against Airdrie, 1-0 down, end up winning it 2-1 with Henderson and McKeever getting the goals there. And then moving into the first proper game, which was the Edinburgh game. It was great to return to Edinburgh. They've improved it actually. They brought in the fencing, so you're actually standing on the running track now as opposed to looking across the running track at the goals. So it's a lot better in that respect now. But 5-0 pumping of Edinburgh. I mean, they did not touch us, lay a glove on us. The goalie looked like he needs the old jabs. I have to say, I don't want to fat shame the goalie, but I was like, is that a professional footballer? I think one of the shouts from someone from our good friend, I won't name him, says, did he get that goalie top from Giacomo? Was it? But sorry to slag off the Edinburgh keeper so much, but 5-0 win there. It was strange because Ben Parkinson and Ethan Laidlaw were on the wings. Gets back to the point that we probably need wingers, because I don't think neither of them are natural wingers. They certainly did a good job on the day. Parkinson getting in a goal, potentially two if McKeever hadn't stolen it from him as well. So, but yeah, Ross McKeever hat-trick, we've got to give it to him on the day, and a great goal from Connor Allen.
We were travelling back from holiday that day, so watched the highlights when we got back, and good finishes. McKeever deserved his goals. Good finish, Parky as well. I think it was there's a still picture. I think it's either Ian Snedden's or Ruby's, and it's definitely McKeever's hat trick goal. Yeah. But got a good finish with Connor again. That's what he's got in his locker. I think he's wasted in defence, and I think John McGlynn obviously maybe feels the same as well, because he is hesitant to put him there. But it is good that it's brilliant that we can use Connor in the centre half position. But see in midfield, the guy he's got a good pass on him. He certainly knows how to finish as well. Really nice left-footed finish from him. And you thought and hoped that 5-0 would probably be not enough, because it's just one win, it's 3 points. But you thought, use that to then kick in, because if you can then go into the Ayr game and beat Ayr, realistically, you're probably going to top the group.
Yeah, and fortunately it didn't happen that way. I missed the Ayr game on Tuesday. Ross, you were there. A lot of worrying. John McGuinn wasn't certainly very happy about it in his post-match. A lot of changes, still getting the up to speed, but so were Ayr, and we managed to get beat 1-0 off them at the stadium. What went wrong on the night?
We really, really didn't get going at all. There was just everything that we are known for and famed for, we just didn't do. Ayr started really brightly. Whilst it is a fairly new Ayr squad, what we do know is that Gary Naismith kind of knows how to play against Falkirk, because he's faced us about 4 times in the last 2 seasons with Stennismuir. Now he's not been they've not won every game, but every time they've played us, it's been a bit of a tough game. So Tuesday wasn't really going to be any different, and that's how it played out. Ayr took obviously got a little bit of fortune with the goal, but then you give yourself a chance to get a penalty, to score a penalty with a few minutes to go. And it was a really, really poor penalty. I think Ross will be regretting taking the ball off Brad, to be honest.
Did Ross take the ball off Brad then?
Yeah. Brad was walking towards the penalty spot and McKeever came over to him. So, to be honest, I would have thought Sibbald would maybe have took a penalty.
It's a very good point, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but you missed that.
Brad's a good penalty taker. Obviously
yes.
Against Dunfermline in the semi-final, but he was very unlucky that it came back off the bar. But but Brad's surely the penalty taker. I mean, Calvin obviously was the number 1 penalty taker before he left, but Brad surely gets it from there on in.
Also, yeah. You would assume the next one will be Brad. It was a really, really weak penalty, and it wasn't a Ross McKeever style, to be honest. I'm not really sure what he was doing, because to me, he's normally someone who would just absolutely leather it.
It wasn't a staggered run up, because that can get
not that I recall. It didn't feel like our night, John. And even when we got the penalty, so I was beside Grant and Yvonne and Maya and stuff, and I'm sitting going, all right, we're going to score this. And that was like, there was a few people around us going, the way our night's been tonight. And then, lo and behold, we missed the penalty. If we'd scored it, you never know. There was still maybe 4 or 5 minutes left, and obviously they would have went to a penalty shootout for a bonus point. And actually getting a bonus point might have been enough if we could have followed it up with 2 wins this week. So, but all we can do now is get the 9 points from this week. Sorry, the 6 points needed to take us to 9. Is 9 going to be enough? John McGlynn's he didn't sound that confident that 9 points would be enough, to be honest. So we'll just need to wait and see.
Well, yeah, we'll wait and see with that one. But obviously, you've got Alloa on Tuesday night away at the Rex, and then Stranraer at home next Saturday. So, you want to get League Cups, one of these cups that you feel you might have got a chance to look at St Mirren last season. And it'd just be a shame to go out in the group stage, especially when it's a loss against Ayr at home.
Well, Celtic's already waiting for us at Parkhead in mid-August, so because that's just a yearly occasion.
It seems to be. Yeah. But we'll wait and see what happens there. I mean, it would, again, for the coffers as well. That sort of stuff helps.
Extra money.
Exactly. So, fingers crossed we can do it against Ayr and Alloa and Stranraer, and we'll see where we go from that. And then obviously we had the 150th anniversary friendly against Genk yesterday. I missed it because I was at Glasgow Pride, walking with the Clyde 1 team at that, doing a bit of work there. So it was had a great day out at Pride. But how was the Genk game?
Better match, better performance from Falkirk. Started really brightly. Obviously, there was changes there. We knew there would be. He was never going to play the same team from Tuesday. Pre-season friendly, so get minutes in. The full squad all got on as well. The goal, I thought David Ninkovic actually put a really, really good cross in. It's not the only thing he did. Like he had moments. I would say, I think John McGlynn said something similar in the Falkirk TV interview. He was probably better attacking than he was defending. His tracking back was pretty much non-existent, which I don't think is going to wash if he signs. But Attacking wise, I thought he did okay. That the ball in was lovely. McKeever's probably going to be annoyed with himself that he didn't get a good connection on it, because again, you want your striker from 6 yards out to be kind of tucking that away.
Is McKeever our 9 this season? You know, he kind of had that.
Will he be? No, I don't think he will be. No, I don't think he will be. I think
he'll be. I think he'll come.
Yes, I do.
And it's not Parkinson. It's not McKeever.
I don't think it'll be Parkinson either. No, I genuinely, John. I don't know. I don't know what anyone has so far got from Parkinson apart from the Hearts goal. Like, I know he was injured for a long spell, but since he's been back, I don't know what his position is. I don't think it's a winger. It should be a striker, but it's not, or not from what we've seen so far. I hope he proves us wrong. Not that no one's out to get him or anything like that, but I've yet to speak to anyone who goes, oh yeah, he's like, just now, would he be one of your first names on the team sheet? I don't think so. So I think it will be either McKeever or another. Could it be Laidlaw? Maybe. Potentially. But I think there's still a striker still to come in.
Interesting. Obviously, McKeever's done well. And
he has.
Pre-season, apart from that penalty miss. But yeah,
he kind of scaffed at it, John. So sorry to go back to that. He scaffed at it a little bit, and then it fought with Leon, and Leon's tucked it away. But I think McKeever, should he be scoring for there? Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Like, obviously, good win in the end. I mean, Genk were very unlucky. Like, that chance they missed at the end where they hit the bar was an absolute sitter when you look back on it. So Falkirk kind of got out of jail with Genk hitting the woodwork 3 times. But listen, a big result against the European side, you know. My son went to the game and he was delighted. He was really excited. I'm like, it's a pre-season friendly. I honestly, sometimes I really can't be arsed with pre-season friendlies. Really cannot be arsed at all with them. But yeah, win for the Bairns against the European side. You know, we've not seen the likes since Ajax back in the day when we beat Ajax. So that was exciting when we beat a team with European pedigree. We beat Ajax. That was
we're on a good record against these European teams.
I know, exactly. If we could all get Europe, that'd be great. But Genk, obviously, they were very much in a similar position. They'd played Motherwell the night before and had rung the was it a half an hour? They brought on like 9 subs or something.
Yeah. So looking back at their squads, so they you call them your starting 11. I don't think it was all of their first choice 11, right? But they had a starting 11 against Motherwell who played 60 minutes. They then brought on 8 or 9 subs on the 60-minute mark against Motherwell. And then what they did yesterday was the team who practically finished the game got the first half an hour against Falkirk. And it was the weird seeing 9 changes after 25, 30 minutes. And then the team who started the game against Motherwell then came on. So it was a really worthwhile exercise. Genk looked pretty decent. As you said, they hit the woodwork 3 times. Listen, we had chances as well. We probably could have scored another 3 or 4 goals. Alfie had a good header over the bar. He had a miss from the right-hand side that he probably could have done better with as well. So there was other little moments, but I think had they scored, they probably deserved to score, right? A draw probably would have been the fair result, but they were defended well. And Nicky, shout out to Nicky. I thought Nicky had a really strong game yesterday.
Yeah, he's been strong all pre-season. I mean, he didn't have them doing the Edinburgh game, but I think from looking at the highlights and what have you, he's been strong all pre-season, Nicky, as well.
Yeah, and he was unlucky with the air goal because obviously it was a deflection of an air player. So yeah, I think Nicky will have taken a lot of confidence. I think the only critique John McGlynn talked to him about, spoke about on Falkirk TV, was the fact that it was obviously a hot day and Nicky was maybe turning the ball over quicker than he would have wanted. But that was it. He says, listen, commanded his area well, shot stops well. So yeah, loads of positives.
Good. So 2 more games to go before the real stuff. Well, the League Cup is the real stuff, but 2 more games to go. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of chopping and changing as John still tries to find that first team. Will we start with the first team he wants in that first league game against St Mirren? I still think, like you say, Ross, there'll be bodies to come in. We'll see who comes in. I think there'll probably be some more movement this week and in the week after that as well. So we'll see what that lineup looks like come match day won in the Scottish Premiership, and I can't believe it's like the World Cup final is just about to happen tonight, and you're only 2 weeks away from the start of the season proper.
Weirdly. I know. And that's the thing, we need to wait for some of these players coming home for the World Cup before we can finalise all these signings.
Very true.
But no, I think it is scary how quick it is coming up ahead of us, and we've got a big start. I think if we can get off to a good start against St Mirren and Motherwell, then it kind of sets you up then, because there's obviously there's no easy game in the Premiership. Even St Johnstone, I think St Johnstone will be a handful this year. I think they look more competent than Livingston were this time last year. But then there's some teams there that might not be as good or not improving. St Mirren seem to be one that their fans, certainly their own fans, are a bit worried about the season ahead.
Yeah. What to talk about, we'll obviously next week we will look back at on episode 200. We're going to look back at the Alloa game, the Stranraer game, and also be chatting to Jamie Swinney. You spoke to him at the fan zone during the week there ahead of the Ayr game, which we also launched the away strip. Right, we've not talked about the strips yet. This is where we'll go Gok Wan. What, Ross, I hand to you as the Gok Wan of this podcast. Let's start off with the home strip. What are you thinking of that?
I like it. I've purchased, so
a lot of complaints
like
about the badges on both. Can we just preface that with that and the fact that it looks like it's stuck on?
I don't think the badges look that bad, to be honest. I get it's different because it's not embroidered, but it is a anniversary kit. It's an anniversary badge. I think it looks absolutely fine. My only gripe, and it is purely, and I believe this is a running theme through other people with the home kit, is that one side of the collar seems to be a bit bigger than the other. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a manufacturing thing or it's just the style they've went for. But I like it. It's the right states, like shade of navy. They've obviously got the silver involved with the sponsor and the badge and stuff. White shorts, red socks. That's the best combo, as always. I like it, John. I really like it. What about you? Are you a fan of the home one?
Yeah, it's okay. I've not been taken by the home ones the last few seasons. Like, I've really not been a fan of the home top. It's all right. It's okay, I would say. I like the platinum kind of that runs through the thing. I like the fact it's got a collar, old school in that respect.
Yep.
Though you've put me off it now. They seem to apparently one side of the collar's bigger than the other. That's
just ever so slightly. Have
you had the measuring tape out to it yet?
No, I've not. It's just an eyeball.
Right. Okay. Get the measuring tape out just in case we just to prove that that's.
But I saw someone yesterday, and their collar was bigger on one side as well. So I thought, it's not just me. Right, it's obviously just a thing.
Right, so. All right. Okay, we'll just get the measuring tape. You can confirm for next week's podcast. It's all right. It's okay. Me and my son have had arguments over the tops he prefers the home to the away. I think the aways. I like the away. I have to say.
The away one's a belter.
The white with the gold is just beautiful, and the Highlander badge on there. Yes, big fan of that. My only worry about both sites is the new, obviously, front of strip. We said goodbye to Crunchy Cats. We're welcoming McHugh and Fraser Legal onto the top. McHugh and Fraser Legal have got a lot of teams relegated when they've been front of the strip, when they've been the strip, because they have sponsored like Dundee United, Dundee, Livingston, Ross County, and a few of those, Partick Thistle, and a few of those teams have got relegated. So my slight concern is, are McCain and Fraser Legal going to beat our Jonah and take us down?
Let's hope not.
I hope not. Yeah. But yeah, I think I'll be going, if I have the choice of the two, I will be going for the away top. You?
Good. I like the away one as well. It's nice. I've not bought it. I got it for the wife on Tuesday night. I think it looks nice, really fresh. Like the collar, like I know it's not got like a collar colour, but it's like got a sort of V-neck, crew neck combo. But I think it looks really nice. I like the all white as well. The players, I think, are a big fan of the all white as well. And the gold just sets it off. If I'm being picky, I would love us to have had gold numbers and names and stuff on the back as well, because you can get it, because there's teams that have wore it. St Mirren recently as well. So I don't know why we've not went down the gold route for that too, but that is the only critique I have of the away kit.
Now you can ask Chris McGill, kitman extraordinaire, about that and find out what the deal is with that. So yeah, that's his right. Just a couple other bits and bobs to talk about. Talk about the Falkirk women. The campaign starts soon. They're back back for the first time in Scottish Women's Premier League 2 this season, and you can get a season ticket for Falkirk Women now. It's only £40 for adults, £10 for concessions, and under 12s go free. Get behind the girls this season. We're going to be sponsoring the captain's armband for Anna, who continues as captain for the Falkirk Women's side as well. So looking forward to that. And let's talk about the captain's armband, because there's a lot of furore online about us stepping away as sponsors. Can I just say right now, it's our decision. It's our decision totally about the captain's armband. It's nothing to do with the club. We decided it was time to rest it, and it was the time for the club to make money out of it, because we've always, over the last few seasons, we started in League One with it. We came up with the idea. In fact, Ross, was, what about if we did this? And we came up with this idea of handing over the armband at the end of the game and obviously having our name on it. And it's always done in a contra deal style. There was no money exchanged hands. Last season, we said, well, we can't probably afford the Premier League because we've always done it as fans. So go and make money of it. And then we came to an arrangement where we hosted the 1876 Lounge, and we're not doing that this season. So it was time for us to kind of go, we can't afford really what they were wanting for it. We don't make all the big money out of this podcast to afford that. So we thought, let the club go and make money out of it, and it puts more money into the coffers, and hopefully they'll find a sponsor to go on that armband. And the tradition which we set up will continue with that sponsor as well. But it wasn't the club kind of just stated it's our decision to walk away, because we just again, we don't make that much money out of this podcast that they will afford it.
As you said, John, we did it in League One. We've had a season with it in the Championship. We got a season in the Premiership as well. As you said, listen, it was an idea that we came up with. It was a contra deal, so we would take hospitality, etc., and that was a good chunk of the deal. Shirt sponsorships, ball sponsorships, and goal flashes, and all this kind of stuff. That's how the club kind of got a deal out of it from us, which was great for us as well.
Yeah.
But as you said, it is the right time. And the package is now something that I think a Falkirk fan or company will get a really, really big click from, because the handover's fantastic. Disappointed it's not happened in the last couple of games. Hopefully it returns soon. It will return, I'm sure. But
as soon as you get a sponsor on board.
I don't know the ins and outs as to why they've not done it now, but I think hopefully it returns. And
saving money on armbands, mate. That's the thing, because we paid for the armbands as well, so they're saving money on the armbands.
Well, that's very true. That is very true. So, but yeah, I look forward to it returning, and it's the end of an era. But listen, we'll still support the club in terms of bits and bobs, and we'll be doing wee things with them, and look forward to it.
Yeah, there you go. So that's just put that to bed as well. Shire cooperation agreement, we've not talked about that. We've obviously set up a cooperation agreement now with the Shire, which makes complete sense. And we're now getting our modern apprentices, Joe Hastings, who, congratulations to Joe, and actually Calvin Bennett, who make the first team debuts. Calvin at Edinburgh, and then Joe against Genk yesterday as well. So congratulations to those guys. And Kai Brown as well is heading off to the Shire as well. I actually play sevens Oakview on a Monday night in the Shire train before our sevens game, so I'll be keeping a close eye on training when I'm down doing playing my sevens over the next wee while, over the next season, to see how the boys are getting on. But yeah, that's great. We've got that agreement in place now, and obviously Joe, Kai, and Calvin can be, we can bring them back into the first team and the youth side as well whenever we need to, as well, as part of that agreement. So
which is good.
Getting out, getting first team football, and hopefully helping the Shire out as well. So good to see that in place, and just a step forward with the club as well, in terms of other clubs at our level are doing that, so we should be involved with that too.
Agreed. No, look forward to it. Local club, and a lot of Falkirk fans back in the day, probably not so much now, but a lot of Falkirk fans back in the day would go and watch the Shire if Falkirk were away from home. So you might see that coming back now that there's a few Falkirk players playing for them as well.
Yeah, no, exactly. So if you ever get the chance, go down and see the boys in action for the Shire. And before we go and wrap this up, sad news this week that Brian Guthrie, one of a well-known, well-kent face as a Falkirk supporter, passed away at the age of 70. I didn't know Brian personally, I just knew him from seeing him. Everyone you speak to was so intrinsic, not only in the football club but in the music scene, which I'm a big massive music fan. His brother Robin played for the Cocktail Twins, who one of the biggest bands to come out of Falkirk, so Grangemouth more, back in the day, and he was like a promoter of gigs and stuff and really involved in the music scene back in the late 70s, early 80s. And played a prominent role in the club as well. The fact that he established the Bairns Trust, which was kind of the forerunner for the Falkirk Supporters Society as well. He's been out the last couple of years and not made as many games, I don't think, as he could. But you probably know him better than I did, Ross.
Yeah, I first met Brian, would have been late 90s. He was involved in what was the Federation of Falkirk Supporters Clubs. So when we started to organise a bus from Austin's, for those of a particular vintage will remember there was a bus running for Austin's. Right. And so I used to meet Brian ad hocly at various things. There used to be meetings at Brockville, monthly meetings, Brian Stewart, etc., Jimmy Ray, these guys, Gav at the Roman Bar, these guys were all there. So Brian was part of the Falkirk Supporters Association at the time, and really nice guy, very, very opinionated, but he loved the club, and that's all you can ask for, is someone who cares enough to get involved, and he certainly cared enough, and he certainly got involved. So rest in peace, Brian. And similar, there's obviously going to be a lot of people have maybe lost Bairns over the last couple of months. So our thoughts are with everyone who's maybe lost someone over the summer.
No, absolutely. So sad news about Brian passing away there at the age of 70. But yeah, that's I think we've tied up everything, Ross. I think we've covered. I don't think we've missed anything. We probably have, but I think we've covered off everything that's happened in the last month and a half, and it's an epic. I didn't think we were going to record this long, but there's been a lot to talk about. We'll be back to our usual nonsense. The Falkirk Daft continues 2 episodes a week. We're also going to be looking into a Patreon episode as well. Details to follow on that as well. And of course, Falkirk Daft Live will be back. We'll have all the details on all the shows that we're going to be putting in over the next season. But we are here. We are back, as I say, for season 26, 27. It'll be another roller coaster ride. It has been the last few seasons, but we're here for it. We can't wait. Let's see where we are come the end of the season. Let's see how the new signings. There's going to be so many twists and turns along the way, and we're here for it. And I can't wait for it. I'm ready. I'm ready. I've had my break. Had the summer holidays. I'm ready to go back to the football now, Ross.
You're back. You're back.
Absolutely. And remember, I've got to say before we go, thank you very much to the Falkirk Football Fans and Training. They're back with us again. I think this is their 3rd or 4th season with us as well, which is brilliant. Yep. And of course, if you want a game of football, Wednesday 8 p.m. to about 9:30 on the community pitches. There's 3 games on offer for you there. There's the youngsters for the late 20s, early 30s. We do not qualify for that, Ross. We can go into section number 2, which is for the over 40s and 50s. That's the academy section. And then the legends section, which is for a slightly more fun-based kickabout is that. So get yourself down to the community pitches at the stadium Wednesdays 8 o'clock if you fancy a game of football. They're not looking for pros. If you just fancy making new friends, improve your outlook through playing football, it's a great opportunity for you to get down and have a kickabout with the lads down there at 8 o'clock on a Wednesday. Get in touch with Dougie or Ian, or if you're a youngster, which is the 20s to 30s, we're no longer youngsters. It's very disappointing. Speak to Hamish or any of the current members for more details. The link is below to get in touch with them on the Facebook page, or you just turn up Wednesday 8 o'clock for a game. That's it. Anything else? Any other business?
Don't think so, mate. We're as you said, we're back and bring it on.
That's it. Brilliant. Listen, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. Rate, review us on Apple or Spotify, wherever you're listening to this. You can leave a comment below. We'll read out all your comments from YouTube and the podcast on next week's show. If you want to add anything, where does the squad need to improve? Let us know. Who would you like to sign? Let us know. Leave your comments below. We'll mention them on next week's show. And if you want any birthday shout-outs, you can just slide into our DMs. Or if you've got any points to make on the show, we'd love to hear from you as well. So just slide into our DMs. You can get us on Instagram, Facebook or Twitter at Falkirk Daft. You can buy merch if you're looking to get yourself kitted out for the new season. Get yourself some Falkirk Daft t-shirts, bucket hats, whatever you want, sweatshirts, hoodies. You can get it at merch.falkirkdaft.co.uk. That's merch.falkirkdaft.co.uk, and you can always join the chat from the podcast and speak to like-minded Falkirk supporters on our Discord channel. The link for that is below as well. And if you want to get in touch with us directly, John at falkirkdaft.co.uk or Ross at falkirkdaft.co.uk, and we can talk sponsorship, because if you want to get a sponsor this show, we are open to negotiation and we're very cheap, as we always say. And thanks to all our sponsors that are involved over the last couple of seasons. We hopefully see them back on the podcast in the near future. Right, up the road, and it's for the first time ever we're going to see it this season. Ross, I just don't know how to end this podcast. Can you end it for me?
Oh, I'll think of something. Expect unexpected.
We're Falkirk Daft, we're Falkirk Daft, talking about the dark blues and having a bit of a laugh. We're Falkirk Daft, we're Falkirk Daft. You can listen in the pub or you can listen in the bath. We're Falkirk Daft, we're Falkirk Daft. For everyone who's caring about being a Falkirk in, we're Falkirk Daft. We are Falkirk